Philippines. And we are going to interview our Senator Koko Pimentel. Let's go!
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Kenneth Hobson.
I'm Aquilino.
Matthew.
And we are the students from Far Eastern University Institute of Accounts, Business and Finance. So we are here to ask you the 12 questions about leadership. So, can you introduce yourself, a brief description about yourself, sir?
Well, I am Koko Pimentel. I am currently one of the 24 senators of our country. I was born in Mindanao, but I'm a lawyer by profession, and I have been a senator for around more than 6 years already, so more than one term already. And for your information, I also taught law in the FEU, the joint venture of FEU and LaSalle, the JD program.
We have 12 questions to you, sir. First is, for you, what does leadership mean?
Well, leadership means the ability to make people see your point of view and then convince them to follow your lead for the good of the people.
Next question, sir. Describe the key actions and behavior of the person that you've experienced as your best leaders.
Well, siguro that's already a model, no? A good model, a good role model for leadership would be my father, because I am the son also of a former senator, and actually I'm not really if I were to categorize myself, I would not say that I am really a politician. If you look at my educational background, I am mathematics degree holder, more of science po ako. But when I saw my father, and of course that when I understood our country's needs, sabi ko, so I better enter into politics too, so that although you can help people outside of politics, you can help more people when you are in elected office. So I used my father as my role model, and I saw him that he was constantly in touch with the people when he was mayor, assemblyman, constitutional convention delegate, minister of local governments, and then senator. So be constantly in touch with people, know their sentiments, their needs, and then address them, solve their problems.
So, sir, may paulit-ulit po kasing questions sa amin. Lagi namin natatakan to. Are leader born or made?
Yun, magandang tanong yan actually. Sa aking palagay, leaders are made. Kasi kahit sino pwede maging leader ng komunidad, organization, even leader of the country. And that is why, if you take a look at our Constitution, the Philippine Constitution, look at the qualifications for people running for the highest leadership position in the land. Hindi mabigat ang qualification. Ang qualification, citizen, yung age, able to read and write, ganun lang. Minimum, very minimum ang qualification. Ibig sabihin nun, na even the framers of our Constitution believe that leaders are made, not born. Kasi binuksan niya yung sabi niya, all of you are allowed to aspire to become the leader of this country. So ako naniniwala po ako doon. And if you take a look at the history of the world, history of mankind, there have been leaders who turned out to be evil. Evil leaders. So don't tell me they were born to be evil leaders. They wanted to be leaders. They succeeded in being a leader, but they turned out to be an evil leader. So it's still ano yun, they made themselves leaders.
So next question, sir. Who are your role models and what are your characteristics?
Siguro yun na nga, I'll choose my father, who is also a former Senate President, and with all of his leadership positions, former Senate President, of course, Senator, Minister of Local Governments, Assemblyman, Mayor of Cagayan de Oro City, member of the 1971 Constitutional Convention. So, and this is the reason actually why I also entered into politics. So that means that my father really inspired me. So I looked up to him as my role model of a leader.
What have you learned from him, sir?
Number one is be ready. So be competent. So equip yourself also with the proper tools of leadership. Number two, be accessible to the people that you are leading. Be in constant touch with them. Know their situation, know their aspirations, know their sentiments. And then be a problem solver. Spend time and your energy and your imagination, your creativity and your talents on focusing on how do we solve this problem. Ganun yan eh. So I think these are some of the qualifications or characteristics of a leader, but not all. So, sige, you also must be a source of inspiration so that people will follow you, and then you must be courageous. You are not afraid to think outside of the box.
Yes.
Because when you are confronted with a problem, you will ask the question, why is this still a problem? Sa tagal na ng panahon, problema na yata ito ng lolo ko o problema na ito ng lolo ko. Bakit problema pa rin natin ngayon? So, if we keep on applying the same solutions that they have thought of, then maybe that is not the correct solution. That's why be open, be courageous enough to think outside of the box. Tapos, ipatest mo naman yung idea mo eh. Meron ka dapat feedback mechanism or think tank, brainstorming. Tingnan nyo yung if this will work theoretically, and if it will work theoretically, you have to now test it. You have to implement it.
Next, sir. What are some of the actions you take to create a climate for change and encourage risk-taking? Be specific.
Well, ito for example here in the office, we are a legislative office. So we craft laws or bills not to be turned into law. I have given my legislative staff the opportunity and the time to be creative. At sabi ko sa kanila, sayang yung access ninyo to a senator because there are only 24 senators. But take advantage of the fact that you are employed here. How? Think that you are the senator. Sabi ko sa kanila. So, isipin nyo na kayo yung senator. And then, in your life, in your family's life, in your friends' lives, is there a problem which the solution to is a law? So, sabi ko, yun, sagutin ngayon natin yun. And actually, meron kaming one benefit dito, one concrete benefit na pwede ko nang i-example. Because ang lumabas doon, for example, sabi ng isang staff ko, sabi niya, sir, maraming nakatiwangwang na mga lupain na minana dahil namatayan yung pamilya, pero hindi nabayaran ang inheritance tax. Therefore, it cannot be the subject of commerce kasi hindi bayad ang taxes eh. So the solution was, sabi namin, therefore, okay, we allow people to pay the inheritance or the estate taxes. So, nag-amnesty kami on estate taxes. Yun ang aming proposal. At naging batas. So, you have now 6 years to take advantage of that law. Na kasi hindi kasi kasalanan ng pamilya na namatayan. Ang lupain tumaas na ang value over time. So the estate tax will now be based on the current fair market value of the real property, and the family might not have sufficient resources, might not be liquid enough to pay the estate taxes due. So ayun ang aming proposal. Naging batas po yan, and I hope people will really take advantage to address a real problem existing among the people or felt by the people na hindi nakita ng mga nasa taas, mga mambabatas, nanggaling pa sa baba because of that opportunity, or which is in a sense a consultation with the people.
So, should leaders let their constituents fail?
Leaders should not fail their constituents, but leaders should accept that failure is part of life. You cannot baby everybody.
Yes.
And even si leader, I'm sure that's why he became a leader, because he has experienced failure in his life. So, siguro, do not, para lang hindi tayo malito, no? Leaders should do everything not to fail their constituents, but accept failure of individuals who are his constituents as part of life. And then sige, sabihan na lang niya siguro sa kanya mga constituents na learn from your failures just as I have learned from my own failures, para hindi na sayang yung experience na yon, yung failure na yon. So kasi failure na nga, wala na ngang benefit na nakuha, wala na nag-gain. The only thing you can gain from a failure is a lesson learned.
So, how can leaders create a climate of trust and facilitate relationships among people in a work team?
Be accessible, be open, and then do not impose yourself on your teammates, on your constituents. Make sure that they chose you as their leader. Kasi importante yun eh. Kasi if you are their choice, then therefore they have already a stake in you. Okay na. Then be accessible, and then consult, and then make sure that the product of the decision of the team, the goal of the team, is the baby of the team. It's their collective decision, and you are just there to lead the team to achieve the goal.
So, what are 3 things that can be done to improve in each leadership practice?
To improve
In each leadership
the 3
practice.
things that can be done. Actually, there are a lot of things that you can do. That the leader must always keep on improving himself or herself. Huwag yung because you have reached the leadership position, relax ka na. Hindi pwede. Keep on learning, keep on improving. And also, relay that same message to your constituents, to your followers. And then, because in the first place, hindi naman immortal si leader eh. I think that is the genius of God. He did not make man immortal. So even si most inspiring, most effective leader, may hangganan po yan. Mawawala rin sa mundo yan. So, dapat accepted ni leader yun. He's now developing the next leader in line. Okay. So, how do you keep on improving yourself? So, you read, you experience things, you consult people to know the real world, the real situation. And then, kaya nga sinabi ko sa kampanya, use your kokote.
Yes.
You must be able to, kasi andyan na lahat ng information sa harap mo, but hindi mo naman kaya. So that's it. So keep on improving, keep on also practicing your decision-making abilities.
So tell me about a time you struggled with work-life balance. Did you manage to solve the problem? How did you do it?
Hanggang ngayon pa rin yan. That's still a problem now because I'm in a work which is stressful, demanding of your time. But I should not complain because I ran for this position. So alam ko to. Kami mga politiko, hindi dapat kami magreklamo kasi nag-file pa kami ng certificate of candidacy. Nangampanya pa kami tapos tapos magrereklamo ka. So you really have to balance. It's a continuing struggle or effort to balance, but you have to balance because life is not only politics, life is not only public service, kasi part din naman ng constituents mo that you want to serve would be your family, di ba? You cannot neglect family in the name of constituents. Ganun din yun. So you really have to balance. So siguro during times na not as demanding, so you spend time with family, with some friends, with your organizations kasi meron ka din dapat volunteerism sa buhay mo. You should have socio-civic organizations where you help the community, parang return something to the community.
So how do you monitor the performance of individual team members? In what specific ways do you motivate your team?
Well, I believe in delegation of responsibility and authority. So in my office, for example, I have in my mind, this is my structure. I explain to them, you are the leader of this legislative group, political group, the administrative sector, etc. So the respective heads will have the delegated responsibility of monitoring the performance of the people below them and the delegated authority to demand performance from the people below them. And then they just report to me. But then ang sabi ko nga sa kanila, we must act fast if there is a let's say, uncooperative member in the organization, lagyan na natin there's a rotten egg in the organization, you have to get rid immediately because it will start to infect the rest of the members and the entire organization will suffer.
So how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, it's a balance. It's a balance. It's actually delegated, but then I still want to be informed of even of details. So then, although delegated, it's some sort of may pagka-centralized pa rin. So it's very difficult to describe because each person or each leader has his or her own style. Hindi mo talaga, and there will be millions or billions of styles because balancing yun combination of certain things. So, and we combine concepts in different proportions. So ganun lang ang ginagawa ko. So, although it's delegated, but if there's an important detail, I want to be informed of it. And then I always tell them, pay attention to the details. That's a problem actually I have noticed here in our country. No one wants to pay attention to the details. But the details are important. If you look at the other countries na hinahangaan natin na umuunlad, example na lang natin, Singapore, hinahangaan natin dahil maunlad na bansa. Tingnan nyo naman, pati detalye, pati ang linis-linis, pati mga steps siguro dun, sinukat nila, pati size ng mga sidewalk nila, sinukat nila. Ganon ang attention to detail, which is important. If we want, kung gusto natin, gumanda ang kalidad ng buhay natin. If we want to improve the quality of life of Filipinos and of our country, we also have to pay attention to the details. Hindi pwedeng puro, ano lang dyan, puro grand plans na then bahala na pag-execute. Mali-mali. And then ang hirap-hirap i-undo what has been done. So, sana ganun ang gawin natin. That leaders also start paying attention to details.
So lastly, what advice will you give to those students who aspires to be like you?
Well, una sa lahat, okay, magandang tanong yan. Because ako, itong pagiging senador ko, tsamba lang ito. Okay? Ibig sabihin nito, hindi naman kami mayaman, kasi wala naman kami dun sa top 1%, top 10%, wala of the sa pagdating sa economic power. So, I attribute my being here to my ability to use my kokote. So, paano ko nagawa yun? Sa education. So, ganun na lang na siguro ang advice ko na which can be followed by almost everyone or by the majority. While young, know your role. Anong role mo sa society while you're still young? You're still a student. Mag-aral ng mabuti. Do not waste your time, because ito nga tinuro sa akin talaga ng aking tatay, no? si Senator Pimentel. Sabi niya, do not waste your time because time does not come back. And nare-realize ko ngayon yan na tumanda na ako, 55 na ako. Sabi ko, pagising ko, nagulat ako. 55 na ako. Naalala ko pa nung 5 years old ako eh. Now I'm 55. Hindi ko na may balik yung 50 years na yun, di ba? So, what have I done? Oh, I'm here, but maybe I could have done more, di ba? So, ganun din ang advice ko sa inyo. So, while young, anong role ninyo? Mag-aral. So, therefore, mag-aral ng mabuti. And then, success will follow. Ano naman yan? Susunod po yan. Kaya nga, yun lang, it's actually the time. Make good use of your time. At whatever stage in life you are.
So we're honored for lending us your time. So
Thank you very much. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator.
Always
Use your kokote!